my relationship with the product pages, they are the ugly uncles of e-commerce. That's how I call them. Markus is staring at me. Well, on average, our customers have 5 web homepage templates and then another 20 templates. And for product pages, there's just one layout with the pictures on the top and then the shopping basket and the text underneath. This is the starting point. This is why I call them ugly uncle. But if you have a look at it, if you compare it to reality in a normal supermarket or in a retail store, brick and mortar, at the times when we still did so, the purchasing decision happens at the shelf, so at the point of sale, where I grab the merchandise and put it in my physical shopping basket. But the product pages and their optimization, well, this is something we didn't look into that much in the past in our daily life, and that's a problem. And we're losing a lot of potential. And if you ever look at what happened last year, this is from a US study on e-commerce. They picked up 10 years of growth in the first 3 months of Corona. So they did a lot of catching up, and we can see that everywhere. I don't know what about you, Marcus, and the customers. We see the following in the past. Large retailers said, well, we also have an e-commerce department, and now they are an e-commerce department also running brick and mortar stationary businesses. So they transformed very fast. And I'm not saying that you can pay with credit card or in a wireless way at the discounter. No, there are many more things that happened. And we have to take what happened in the last 80 years of brick and mortar stores optimization and implement that digitally. At the same time, in e-commerce, we've got the topic that the large search engines and Amazon, they are the gatekeepers and act as such. And the relation we have as an e-commerce company to the users, of course, they are a hindrance. They say, that's my portal. I decide where you are placed. Of course, you can pay if you want to, but I'll only give you part of the data. If you have had a look at the Apple Pay receipt, instead of a credit card number, there are just 12 zeros. Apple just doesn't want to hand out the data. Who was it? And lots of the solutions we used to have in the past, independently of GDPR and cookies, many solutions don't work anymore because we don't have the data. If I can't assign a credit card data number, I can't use my offline CRM because I can't use it. This means, on the other hand, we spend an increasing amount of money for advertising on these platforms to acquire customers. As a retailer or an online company, we spend money to place our products on Amazon. We have to pay for that, but we don't really benefit from it. And if we have a look at the growth rates, for instance, Amazon ad revenue has doubled in the ad revenue has doubled in 5 years as compared to the $60 billion that are the flywheel for Amazon. I mean, the numbers show that Amazon has the same amount of revenue that they generate with ads as they spend. So these are flywheels. They consume such a lot of energy, and I have to resist that. And I can only do that with the relationship that I can establish with my customer. That's the only way. And I mentioned the example of the supermarket shelf before, and we have a similar situation in e-commerce. Of course, somebody has to have an interest to buy from me, and then trust can be built so that the person executes the purchase, and then faith is needed. Only then can I escape this cost factor of advertising spend. I can invest money so that the customer comes comes back, but if I have to pay another, for each purchase, I have to pay 10 or 20% for advertising, at the end, I don't make any money anymore. So this is why on the product page, I have to have a look at the KPIs. I have to optimize them. Of course, I have to reduce the bounce rate. I have to raise the page views, because this is where the purchasing decision will be made at the end. And there's one thing I must not do. I must make sure that there is a bounce, because that's very expensive. So a suspended purchase is what we don't want. The customer typology is something I have to depict. Imagine that. Look, you go into a store and you want to buy a certain piece of porcelain, a dish. You go into the store, you talk to the sales assistant, you go away, and a week later you come back. And the shop assistant wouldn't use the same arguments again, because they remember that these arguments were mentioned the last time already, and the person came back to the store. So apparently the person likes me. I'm not going to emphasize the same thing again. I have to come up with other sales arguments. And if a person comes back time and time again, so I tell the person, so this is the reason you can use, or the argument you can give your partner why you bought that piece of porcelain or china. So you've given all the arguments, and we can see if a customer opens different tabs for same or similar products. We can see if a person comes to our web shop for the first time, or if a customer just opened a bookmark link and says, I just finally want to buy that product. It's Saturday night, and I want to complete this so as to have the product on Monday, and then I can adapt the text. I can also optimize the product page and say I'm going to support this purchasing process. And what Amazon does is exactly the opposite, but let's take it as a bad example for once. Let's say you've got a link, you've got a product, you click on it, you scroll down, you check once more if there was a good assessment, good review for the product, and suddenly you see the product, the table that compares this product with others. And again, you're insecure whether or not you want to buy it. And these are obstacles to the purchase. And you brought a customer to buy a product, and then you make sure that the customer buy it at the end. At this point in time, the customer leaves because you did something that wasn't very fortunate. And translating that into content. We are a content company. We can automate content for the customers. And now the novelty is that there are different purchasing typologies, and we can add text to them. I'm going to show you in a moment how this works. Let me give you an example. We've got a wine retailer, and the customer comes to the website the second time or the third time, but the customer didn't come the last day. He said, look at different products, but didn't put anything into the shopping basket. Now I'm going to put a different text to that particular type of wine, thinking maybe this customer is looking for something he used to buy in the past. The more traditional wine, you can't do anything wrong. And maybe the customer will try out something new. Otherwise, the customer would have bought something right away if he had liked it in the first place. How does this work? This is with on-site data exclusively. The question was about the CRM. We don't need big data. In principle, very simple things. The browser knows about the customer. You don't need a lot of data storage or evaluation. Of course, we have to be GDPR compliant. Otherwise, it wouldn't be legally possible, but you don't need a lot of things. Very simple behaviors you need to collect. I can make sure that the data isn't translated to third parties or transferred. There are certain things I can do because it's my shop, it's not Amazon, and it only works on your own website. But that's the site I can use to build up a relationship with the customer. Let me give you an example of texts. Here we've got the typical web shop websites, highly optimized home pages, filters, category pages. And now I'm at a product page. You've got a product description, and this is what you see, what Google sees.
Der Typ, der als allererstes mal überhaupt auf diesem Shop ist. Ich war noch nie
And
da.
the first time visiting this web shop, and the shop doesn't know me at all, I just ended up there, happened to be there. So I teach the page what my strong points are. Maybe the page doesn't know me as an online shopper, or doesn't know why I should buy from this website. So I tell all these things is something I can embed in the product page. So give the customer, the new customer, new information about us, because the customer doesn't know us yet. This sounds like something very simple, the CO2 emissions, for instance, but we are talking about the supermarket shelf to compare to that. And if you have a look at the supermarket shelves and you just don't buy a product that looks weird, you buy a different type of ketchup because it wasn't really closed, or it's the last bottle, I would have liked to have that bottle of ketchup, but now buy something different. And this is something we also have to take into account online. Let me take a different example. Let's take the inspiration button. A person looking for a gift. It's Friday evening, soccer is boring, no goals scored. So the person accesses the internet. Okay, as a gift, that would be good. I have to go to a party in 2 weeks' time. This is something I could buy. As it is said, it's a gift. This is an optimization which is efficient independently of the pure selection of a product, but it reinforces the possibilities that you have with the product. And here there's the possibility to use this particular text. This also goes for the selection of images or entire page layouts. Why do I need a product comparison table at a point when someone has already made a decision and just wants to buy? How can I convince this person? I can convince the person, you can do click and collect. Okay, I can collect it. So then I know that it's really going to arrive, and this convinces the customer to buy it instead of a product comparison table, for instance. So this is what we do, and this is the commercial. We deliver measured values to our customers. This is what we give our customers, in this case, the online editor, taking care of the text and automation. And you can have 20 or 30 languages and 100,000 product pages that can be optimized. And track the conversions, the engagement, how many people have read the text. All this can be done. Has it improved, and is the investment worthwhile? This is what we take care of. And at the end, we've got the different parts of the purchase. We fed the different parts with information, with texts. And suddenly what matters is the effect of the text. And so really the content of the text, that's what matters. And not only that the text be